Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
A single best idea. Just an extraordinary day. Thank you to David Gura for reporting from the side of a river with all of that history of Ottawa and Canada on this election. Historic moment, and of course, all tied into a huge emotion between the President of the United States talking about a 51st state and the defense that the people of Canada feel. Good morning to Mexico as well, we should say. We don't want to forget the challenges with our neighbor to the south. It was such an honor to speak to David Dodge today. He is a venerable governor of the Bank of Canada, a vibrant 81 years old, and he gave us wonderful perspective. Perspective as well on China. Elizabeth Economy is definitive in America on an analysis of China, earned credibility from the University of Michigan years ago. Here's Elizabeth Economy of the Hoover Institute out at Stanford University on this moment for America and China.
I think it depends on how long the president stumbles and in which direction. I mean, I think there's a stumble, one might say, on the tariffs. There's a stumble on, undercutting investment in our universities. There's probably a stumble in moving away from, clean energy, which is, the choice of most of the world for the 21st century. So while we're looking backwards to the, 1950s and the rest of the world is looking to 2050, I think there are a number of different stumbles, but we're only 100 days into this administration, and there's plenty of time for, I think, course correction.
Elizabeth Economy there of Stanford University, a new book scheduled out next year, I know, from her. We should note her public service to Gina Raimondo at Commerce in the previous administration. Joining us as well today, Ethan Harris, retired but not, left Bank of America, and day one wrote on LinkedIn, brilliant work. Can't say enough about the constructive knowledge that I see in my LinkedIn feed, and part of that is from Ethan Harris. Here's Ethan Harris on the Fed in the moment for America.
I think that economists would agree that you need to deal with China and the unfair trade practices of China, but that's not what they're doing. China should be the focus. Why are we beating up on Canada and Mexico? We have a free trade agreement with them. They are our closest allies. Why are we beating up on Europe? Europe's trade is relatively unfettered with the United States. So it's not the right way to go about it. The tariffs should be focused on issues of geopolitics and on unfairness, not this kind of us against everyone. America alone is not a good policy.
Ethan Harris, they're talking about the China, the geopolitics of the moment, and of course how it folds back into the Fed. He says he gave the Fed very, very high marks within that extended conversation. On your commute across the nation, thank you so much for listening, seeing more and more of Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. On YouTube, again, I am overwhelmed by this digital power that is YouTube. We're out on Bloomberg Podcasts. Subscribe to Bloomberg Podcasts. And out there always on YouTube Podcasts. Single best idea.